technology. So if you were just on with us live, we went down. The things happened in the background. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but we are back. So if you're just joining us, welcome to the bestseller book blitz. That's what I'm calling this moment. This moment is the bestseller book blitz because you are going to help us. You're about to meet the us in just a moment, become bestsellers. So I'm Kim Coles, in case you didn't know. Kim Coles, actress, comedian, author, speaker, coach, and publisher. I have my own publishing company. Did y'all know that? It's called Hot Coals. Actually, I spell it way more bougie than just hot. It's Haute. So it's actually haute coals, haute couture, like haute coals publishing. And I am so honored and delighted that I get to work with amazing authors like the ones you're about to meet right now. So today is all about launching Wisdom Gifts Book 2. Now, this is Gifts Book 1. GIFTS is an acronym for gratitude, intention, forgiveness, triumphs, and self love. And it's time to launch book number 2, which is happening today. And you get to help us become bestsellers right now. So go to wisdomgiftsbook.com and you will get Wisdom Gifts Book 2. These are the authors. We met just a moment ago, Seneca Williams, and she's going to come and talk in just another moment. Alex Davis, who's going to come and talk in just another moment. We also met Danny Lourdes, who you're going to meet again in just a moment. But where the live stream went was in the middle of Monique Jones talking about her Mo Essence, talking about her chapter and how she lives her life through the lensing of her Mo Essence. Monique, I will now give you the stage where you were cut off, but you're going to get your words out today. You're going to get your message out. So, Monique, will you take us through? Because I'm going to put these two videos together so that we can
Okay.
hear what you want to share with the world. So, talk about your chapter and what you talk about in your chapter, please.
Yes. Thank you so much for this opportunity again. So first, my chapter is my transformation, my experience through transformation. It's Moessence lessons, all the lessons I've learned through this process. And there are three primary chapters that I chose to focus on. The first one being um, the power of dreaming big. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's it. Sometimes in life we think that we're incapable of doing things because of where we come from, who people say we are, or the constructs that society has for us. But there is power in dreaming big and doing who you're fully capable of doing, who God has created you to be. God wants us to live an abundant life, and we should grab hold to that and stick to it and reach out for our true purpose.
Mhm.
The second one is being celebrating who God created you to be. God didn't make any mistakes when He created us. I am one of those neurodivergent children. I have ADHD, grew up with it, and I found it problematic, even through my adult life. And so now I'm finding it to be my superpower, my gift to the world, and embracing it and knowing, God really didn't make no mistakes. There's a reason, I think like this, and it's for the greater good of all. And the
Mhm.
last is, accepting your calling. We all have a calling, regardless of what your faith background is. We have a calling in this life as long as we're breathing this air. And when you accept your calling, it requires you to be servant. And if we're not being servant to people, then we're just existing. And so accepting your calling is one of the greatest lessons I had to learn that I wanted to share with everybody.
Mm,
Thank you.
thank you, Monique. Thank you so much. Um, I love this idea of dreaming big, stepping into your calling. And what was the second one? I missed the second one. I think
Celebrating who God created you to be.
right. I actually think,
Mhm,
and we've talked privately about this. I have not been diagnosed with ADHD or being neurodivergent, but I do
mhm,
feel a little different. And I have
mhm,
also decided to accept that as a superpower. And what
mhm,
does it mean when you decide to accept all of you as having this superpower, accepting
mhm,
whatever it is that is going on with you, which is what the T in the gifts is all about, is just accepting
mhm.
yourself as you are. When you accepted yourself that this is my superpower, what opened up for you? What became available to you in the,
What happened
being
for me, I wasn't in a box anymore. I
Mhm.
no longer felt like why am I not doing it like this? Or why am I not thinking like this? Or, one of the things I do is I take on many things and people are like, you're doing too much. No, no, no. I'm doing me. I had to be comfortable with that, and embrace it because I am capable of doing me. I've done me all these years, and I've this me has created my success thus far. So I love it now.
I love that. You just opened up a world for somebody else who's like, I feel capable. If I feel capable and if I have the
Mhm,
dream, then as you were saying, what I feel like you were saying that there's a calling on your life to bring it
mhm.
forward and you must do it. And the resources will pop up for you to make that happen. So I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for sharing your Mo essence. Now, I hope you hear what's
Thank-
happening here that Monique has created her own framework, her own way that she shares her methodology with the world that she discovered just by showing up and being herself. And you all can do
mhm,
that too. Your lessons, I talk about the lessons and about the journey of life and about the way we show up and look at our challenges as a way of leaving our legacy. I always say that you overcome to become. She is using her life and created a framework so that now we all can learn how to do that too. And that's what this book is all about. What all of these authors have in common is they've looked at their life, looked at their challenges, looked at their lessons that they've gained, and now want to share them with others in such a beautiful, generous way. I thank each of you already, and I will thank you right now for being so generous in sharing yourself with the world in this way. And as folks are helping us to become bestseller today by going to wisdomgiftsbook.com, I'm thanking all of you for being on this journey with us. And so I'd like to ask a question to all of the authors, and I'll start with you, Seneca. Is there something that you learned about yourself while writing your chapter in the Wisdom Gifts book too? Is there something that you discovered or opened up, or something that you learned about yourself that you'd like to share with us, please?
Absolutely. In my chapter, Conquer the Imposter, I start off with the journey from junior high school, being in like the honors class and feeling like I didn't belong there and someone was going to discover that I'm not that smart. And from writing that all the way up until becoming an entrepreneur, something I realized is we don't just become an entrepreneur and all of a sudden our mindset changes or switches. We have to work through that.
Mhm.
And another thing I recognized was the self doubt that I experienced, the perfectionism came from things that I learned. People telling me, I don't think you can do it. People actually saying to me, you're not going to amount to anything. It came from people telling me, you have to work 10 times as hard to be seen as qualified. And imposter syndrome wasn't my own voice. That self doubt wasn't me, it was
mhm,
external. It was what I learned and what I saw. So from writing it, I realized every time in my educational journey, my career journey, or even in entrepreneurship, when I feel that creeping up feeling of imposter syndrome or that chatter in my voice, like you can't do it, or they're going to think you're a fraud, that's not my voice.
Wow.
That's all the voices of other people. That's my fear of their judgment, their criticism, and all of that. And most recently, when I was watching the Grammys and I saw Beyonce up there accepting her award, what came to my mind was if you need to be in your own world, go ahead and do that, because she was wearing her cowboy hat and her outfits for years before she won that award. She did not ask for permission and she did not ask for validation. She just went ahead and did the thing. And that's why I say you don't need permission to do the thing. So, what I got from it was anytime that imposter syndrome creeps up, that's not my voice. I have to tap into my own voice, be in my own world about what I want to do. And that's what I did to be part of this project and write this book. I didn't worry about like someone saying like you're a therapist and a coach, you're not an author, you're doing that now. I didn't even think about that. I was like, I'm an author, I'm going to be a bestseller. I'm going to be a best-selling author.
I love it. Thank you for that, Seneca, and thank you for that other perspective that we get indoctrinated by all these other voices and opinions and things, and then we take it on as if it's our own. I love that you've opened that up, that your imposter syndrome is not even your own. It's you, all this outside voice, all these outside influences, and that reflection that only a therapist can, that therapists teach us how to do that best, right? So thank you for your service. I know that therapy has helped me a great deal in those reflective questions of like, wait a minute, is this my own or is this some outside stuff? Is going to shift people's world. So thank you for being the pebble in the pond. That wasn't a pebble, that was a whole rock in the pond. So thank you. That
Yes.
permission of letting it go. That's awesome. Thank you, Seneca. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Who did I go to? I think I went to Alex next. Alex, would you like to share what writing your chapter opened up for you? What did you learn about yourself? What was the experience like for you?
Yeah, so my chapter is actually a very, very vulnerable chapter. It's shattering shame, building a legacy of strength and success. And
Mhm.
you may think, oh, shame, what does that have to do with money? And for me personally, my shame was making me play small. It would not allow me to stand in my full power. And guess what was happening? My money was being in a direct response to that, saying no to opportunities where I could not only have impact but make more money. My shame was holding me back from doing that. So not only does shame stop you from maybe looking at your numbers or actually showing up in your full power, but it's impacting your money. And so while writing that chapter, I realized, well, man, this is happening to me. I can only imagine how many other people it's happening to, but they're not connecting the two. And so it really actually, it just got me even more pumped about my mission with working with women, money, and their mindset, because it's so much more than just a strategy. Like if we don't actually dive into what's going on internally, what are some of our beliefs, what's actually stopping us from standing in our full power, we're missing out on so many opportunities. And those opportunities, guess what? It's impacting also your money. And it's so interesting how so many of the stories of the authors are very similar, because when I listened to Monique and she said talking about accepting your calling and standing in your purpose, I love that. But so often money stops us. The fear of what
Mhm.
happens if this doesn't work out. How am I going to pay my bills? It stops us from actually standing in our calling. And so just writing the chapter again, it was like, man, I am right where I'm supposed to be. And so it just got me all excited and fired up to support women and actually get the financial house in order. And so while my chapter on shame is a personal story about that, I share my framework of how to actually break down shame, because whether the shame is directly related to your money or something else in your life that's now impacting the money, we have to deal with it. And
Indeed.
so, yeah, so that was my lesson. It's just like, I'm ready. Coming
Ready.
out,
I'm ready.
dun, dun, I want the world to know. I'm in. So that's what I learned.
Thank you so much. Y'all didn't even know y'all were gonna get a concert this morning. Thank you, Alex. Thank you so much. Thank you for opening that up and making that available to us. I'm so excited for all the other people, all the other women, and I'm sure you let the men come in and know too, because the shame for them is even more quiet. So thank you so much for unlocking that. And I know that all too well, because like I said before, I spent all my money and I was in a shame spiral for years. And yeah, and by the way, it was therapy that got me all the help. So thank you again, Seneca, for the work that you do. Yeah, yeah, I understand that shame piece. I get that. I said this before in the other live stream that the power of stories like this is when you hear people's story, you get to see yourself in it. Or maybe you see someone in your life that is experiencing something like this. And so by participating in this bestseller blitz, and this is just the pre-launch for the book. This is how you can get the book for 99 cents. Go to wisdomgiftsbook.com and dive into these stories and see when you see yourself, see how you see yourself. And maybe your shame is not around money. Maybe you don't have shame at all. Maybe you have another element, another thing that you want to break through. Allow these incredible authors who are shared their generous stories to help you see yourself and unlock the best version of you too. Now, I will keep going. I will now ask Danny. Danny, will you share, please, what writing this chapter sparked for you, opened up for you, an experience that you had while writing your chapter that you share?
Ah, girl. So I, it has, like I said, I am very protective of my little circle of family. And I think once my son got diagnosed with autism, it was very much a roller coaster between me and my husband, my daughter, and the outside world. It was almost like us against the outside world, like
Mm,
all the, why does he act like that? Or why is he, you need to get him a spanking and,
mm,
all that stuff without even knowing or asking questions. And so there was a lot that I felt like it really, those experiences, those outside experiences really put me in a cocoon almost. But with no windows. And so I think once I started trying to figure out, we moved to Atlanta, and then I was like, okay, I need to work. But then with my son's diagnosis and all the therapy that we were doing, it didn't allow me to hold a traditional 9 to 5. And so I was like, what are we going to do? I need to be able to help support my family. And I think what I discovered about myself was that it was time for me to butterfly, out of this cocoon, because I was like, and I think my experience with having a neurodivergent son is I think a lot, and talking with other parents and people who experience this, is that they cocoon themselves as well, out of the fear of people won't understand. And I think this experience of being a part of this book really helped me, just like I said, butterfly. And I think with my son, I want to say almost using him as an excuse to put on those layers. But when I look at my son, if you guys ever get the chance to meet him, he is such a ray of light, so happy all the time, just living his best life. And honestly, I was like, this boy is literally living his best life, not worrying about what nobody say, nobody think. And here I am over here like this. Like, what is that? And so I learned a lot from this little joker. Like, he
wow.
opened mommy up, and I feel like I realized how much I was underestimating myself. And I too, like Seneca, was like, that imposter syndrome is real, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna get into the lock business, and here I am, don't do nothing about no hair, don't know nothing about hair. How am I gonna start teaching people about hair and how to run a business? And I'm still new, and I'm walking into this room with people who have been doing it for years. Who am I to sit here and be like, yeah, listen to me for your advice and things like that. But I was like, you know what? Sometimes what I tell my lockpreneurs, my mentees that I coach, I just say, you know what? You don't have to have it all together when you start, but start, and just keep taking that one step at a time. And that was something that I feel like my son really helped me to see, is that I just got to take it one step at a time. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and things will start to fall into place. And so once I started doing that, things started changing for me. It got really scary, because I was like, oh my gosh, I like to be behind the scenes, but now I'm out here in the front speaking to people and doing all this stuff that's just not in my character. And so is it scary? Yeah, but like I said, you do it scared, so you just do it. So I think that has been something that I've learned about myself. My son has really taken me on a journey. So of a lot of self growth, and a lot of it at one time, I was kind of a little overwhelmed by it, but now I feel like I'm at a place where I'm like, that water's flowing, and I'm
Flow.
receiving. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really grateful to be a part of this book, because it has really just kind of catapulted me more, to live out of that fear, and listening to those little voices that aren't mine, Seneca, and just moving forward. So yeah, it's
Love
been
it.
very, very helpful.
Thank
Period.
you. The thing that you said that really stuck for me is that something might have been out of your character, but was absolutely in your calling. It was in your calling, to go back to
Yes, yes.
what you were saying. So I'm glad that you answered that calling, and the beautiful butterfly is flapping her wings and flying around and sharing all the beauty with everyone. And we thank your little one for showing us how to do that. Kids show us the way sometimes, don't they? So thank you, Ethan. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. And as someone who has a family member who's also on the spectrum, the gifts and the lessons that they teach, because the matter of factness that that so many of the folks on the spectrum, is so refreshing. Like, this is just the honesty, this is just the truth, is not filtered with no other stuff, and living their best lives, showing us how we can live our best lives too. So thank you.
Yep. You're
And
welcome.
Monique, I'll finish up with you. Is there something that your chapter, working on your chapter, uncovering your story, with us working together, is something that this taught you that you'd like to share with us?
Yes, and I'll get to it, but I just want to say I absolutely love the synergy that is amongst the authors. Like, this is like
Yeah.
beautiful times 10. I don't even know another word for it, but absolutely beautiful. And I just love it. Listening to all the ladies is amazing. How we just become this beautiful thing. But what I learned is kind of on the same lines, is balance and harmony are important for me. I have to balance my healing spiritually, mentally, and physically. And what I find is one is not good without the other. I'm not balanced if I think, I am healthy spiritually. There's no way I could be healthy spiritually if I'm depressed. It just, there's no way. And when I'm not physically in shape and physically moving and nourishing my body, all things fall. So that balance of spiritual, mental, and physical health is just so important to me in my life. And I have to conquer that. I'm not expert at it now. I'm not gonna lie and say that, but it's something that I realize, you know, I'm more optimal at helping others when I'm optimal myself in those areas.
Right. Thank you for that. The phrase of filling your own cup first before sharing with others, sharing yourself. So many of us, we give and we give and we give, and we're giving from an empty cup. And so there's
Mhm.
a phrase that I'd heard, that you fill your own cup and then let whatever's left over fill over into the saucer, and then serve others from your saucer, because you are unlimited, and the source will give you, creator, God, universe, however you all language it, the God of your understanding will fill you up with what you need, give you the resources that you need, so you can serve others in that way. So I love that idea
Mhm.
of being in balance, being in harmony. Um, I use the word harmony too, and do it for yourself first, so that you can be the best servant ever. I love it.
Absolutely.
Well, I will just say thank you all. I love the synergy here too, Monique. I agree with you. This is what happens. I set an intention whenever I create these containers, and I create the anthologies, that I set the intention that um, the people who have the message that they're ready to share with the world, the story that they're ready to share, and it is vulnerable. Um, and I like to coach people through it, to share just as much as you feel comfortable sharing, and then go a little bit further, because it's going to help other people too. I have found that vulnerability, I have a little, my own framework that I call authenticity plus vulnerability equals credibility. Like, people will come and say yes to your goods and services, or they'll want to come and work with you because you've opened up and shared your journey with them. And when we gloss over things, it stays hidden, it stays below the surface, and I think, inhibits our ability to really answer our calling. So thank you all for answering your calling, for coming into this sacred container, this experience that does feel synergistic for me too. And I got to work with you all one-on-one, and as a group, and I love this kind of work, because it fuels me to do more of it too. Just like each of you, the work that you do fuels you to do even more, and be an
Mhm.
even bigger pebble in the pond. Like I said, it's the tsunami of possibilities right now. So those of you who are
Kim,
listening,
can I just say, I just want to throw a shout out to Kim real quick, because I know she kind of
Yes.
wrap us up, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Kim, because I tell you, her coaching through this process has been great. I think when
Yes.
I started, when she was like, I really feel like that you need to be writing about your son. You need to write about your, and I'm like, nah, girl, that's private. I got to keep that here. I got to protect that. And she really just helped me work past my fears and anxiety about just talking about something so personal to me, which, produced a really bomb chapter. I think y'all want to love it, Rooted in Purpose. But I'm really grateful for your coaching and your encouragement through the process. It has been easy. It was almost like, you know what, let me just put on my headphones and act like I'm writing in my diary to get my authentic story out. And so I'm just really grateful for your help in this process. So I just wanted to shout you out, girl.
I'll take it. Thank
Absolutely.
you. My pleasure, my honor, my delight, and my joy to do so. I love it. I love this work. All right, don't make me cry now. Don't make me cry. I put my lashes on at 7:30 this morning. I can't cry them. I may just take them off, but I don't want to cry them off. Thank you all for joining me and these incredible, beautiful authors in sharing our journeys, to share our journeys. This is the journey to share the journey of the lessons, of the legacy, of the opportunities that are available to you. You can go to wisdomgiftsbook.com right now. It's only 99 cents to help us become bestsellers. When we become bestsellers, we can be even bigger ripples in the pond, and you can do this too. If you want my help, you let me know. Send me a DM. Go to the resources that are somewhere on this page. I would love to help you share your story in this beautiful way. And I really do want to say, without getting political, I will say that in such a time as this, for you to step into your calling, this is the time to do so. This is the time that, however you're looking at the landscape of all that's going on, and there's a lot that's going on, but it is the perfect time for you to step into your calling, step into your gift, bring your stories forth so that you can make changes in your world and in the world at large. So thank you for being here with me. I'm not going to cry off my lashes. But I want to thank all of my beautiful authors for being here. And there's 18 of us. So this is just a taste. If this is just a taste of what you're getting, wait till you get the rest of it. Thank you so much. The launch is coming soon. You're getting a little taste of it here. Thank you all for waking up and being here with me on a Saturday and showing up in the way that you do. Off you go. Have a great, beautiful day. Wisdomgiftsbook.com. All the best. And woo, woo, woo. Somebody always wants me to say